welcome to FTTV. Now, you might have noticed in the background of some of our other episodes our plant. Now, do any of you have a plant at home? Well, this one, it needs watering and it needs some sunlight in order for it to grow.
Hey Naomi, I have lots of plants at home. Let me show you around the garden.
Now here we've got some strawberries, but they're not just any strawberries. They're white strawberries that taste like pineapple. And over here are some plants that grow berries. Now they're not blackberries, they're not raspberries, but these ones are called wineberries and they're really tiny when they grow. And next to them we're growing some loganberries. These are much bigger than wineberries and taste a little bit different too, but both of them are really, really yummy. Have you ever had rhubarb crumble? Rhubarb crumble is one of my favourites, so every year we grow rhubarb in our garden. Rhubarb has huge leaves and red stalks, and it's those red stalks that are the fruit. So you can pull them up and chop up the red stalks when they're ready and cook them and eat them in pies and crumbles. Now over here we've got some more berries. These ones have a funny name. They're called gooseberries. They look a little bit like grapes, and when this one's grown, it will produce yellow gooseberries. Inside here, you might notice this plant from earlier. Inside here, we're growing some more strawberries, but these ones are just red, sweet strawberries. You can see that they've got a lot more growing to do yet, but soon they'll produce red fruit for us to eat. This here is another gooseberry plant, but it's going to be red gooseberries, so soon we'll have yellow and red gooseberries to eat. Now this might look like really long grass to you, but actually each bit of this plant can be eaten. Even these tiny little purple flowers. Once they open up, you can eat them in salads or egg fried rice. They're super yummy. Round here we've got some more herbs. And down here we've got some sage. Have you ever had sage and onion stuffing? Well, this is what's inside. And up here is some rosemary, which smells amazing when you rub it between your fingers. And that can go on lots of food in lots of recipes too. Now lastly, we're growing some tomatoes in our garden. Some stripy tomatoes, some yellow tomatoes, and some red tomatoes, which are going to grow really tall, all the way up to the top of this frame.
In the Bible, God talks to us about creation in Genesis chapter 1, and it's all about looking after the world.
In the beginning there was nothing, a black blanket, total darkness. God commanded, "Let there be light," and light appeared. God was pleased with what he saw and smiled. He separated the light from the darkness and called them day and night. Evening passed and the morning came. This was the first day. Then God commanded, "Let there be water and sky," and it was done. So God separated the water under it from the water above. He named the above sky. Evening passed and morning came. This was the second day. Then God commanded, "Let there be water and land," and it was done. He named the land earth, and the water he named sea. And God was pleased with what he saw and smiled. Then he commanded to the earth, "Let the earth produce all kinds of plants, those that grow grain and fruits." So the earth produced all kinds of plants, and God was pleased with what he saw. Evening passed and morning came. This was the third day. Then God commanded, "Let the light appear in the sky to separate the day from the night." And it was done. God then made two big sources of light, the sun to rule over the day and the moon to rule over the night. He also added the stars. Evening passed and morning came. This was the fourth day. Then God commanded, "Let the waters be filled with many kinds of living beings, and let the air be filled with birds." God created the great sea monsters and all other kinds of creatures that lived in the waters, all kinds of birds that soar through the sky. God was pleased with what he saw and smiled. Evening passed and morning came. This was the 5th day. God commanded, "Let the earth produce all kinds of animals, small, wild, large and tall," and it was done. So God made them all, and he was pleased. God then said, "Now we will make human beings. They will be like us and resemble us. They will have the power over fish and the birds and all the animals, small and wild, large and tall." So God created human beings, making them like himself. He created them male and female, and he blessed them and said, "I'm putting you in charge of the fish and the birds and all the wild animals." And it was done. God looked at everything he had made, and he was very pleased. Evening passed and morning came. This was the 6th day. And so the whole universe was complete. On the 7th day, God finished with what he had been doing and rested. He blessed the 7th day and set it apart as a special day. And that's how the universe was created.
Just like plants need sunshine, soil and water to grow, so do animals. They need food and shelter, all to keep them safe. Now God, he tells us all about looking after our planet. And you might have watched some things on television which tells us all about looking after our world and what might happen if we don't. Now, at the Family Trust, as Christians, we believe that we have been given the responsibility to look after this world and everything in it. What do you think you could do to help keep our plants, animals and environment a safe and healthy place to live in? Now, this week, our badge, it should remind us all about looking after our world and how to keep everything nice and safe and healthy. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for this amazing world that we live in and help us to keep it nice and healthy and happy. Happy and healthy. Amen. See you next time.